So the new Predator Badlands teaser trailer dropped about a week ago or so, and I've watched this trailer probably like 30 times, just over and over and over again, trying to get a feel of what's being communicated here. On YouTube, in the description, it says Predator Badlands, which stars Ellie Fanning and Demetrius, is set in the future of a remote planet where a young predator, outcast from his clan, finds an unlikely ally in Thea, which is Ellie Fanning's character, and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. And so this film's just kind of like, who's the best match for a wild predator who's on his own, who seems to be like maybe the most badass predator out there, is probably what they're going to paint it as. Let's start watching through this trailer. I want to point a few things out.
I didn't think you survived.
Got the mask there and the skull behind it. And they also say, like, I didn't think you'd survive. So that insinuates that something's happened either once or many times that is life-threatening, right? That two shots right there didn't make much sense to me. I wouldn't have included those if I was going to cut this together, because this doesn't give much context other than just more like alien planet vibes. That's all this is, right? It's just establishing that we're on an alien planet, but there's nothing like extremely interesting about this necessarily, unless that pattern in the sand is something important. But contextually, we don't have it. So the director of Prey. I loved Prey. Good shout out there. This is a more effective illustration of the alien planet, right? I feel like this communicates where we're at more than the other shots do. This is an interesting shot. So it shows like a couple weapons. Everything's on beat, so it's good editing. And then her eyes flitter up on beat, right? Yeah, so it's cool, but this kind of gives me like she's stuck in a tree, kind of like that Game of Thrones, the three-eyed raven kind of vibe, but it's like a visual novelty. Like this is something that creates interest, intrigue. To see Ellie Fanning in a tree and then she does the eye thing, it's like familiar, but in the Predator story, we don't know. So it's sort of intriguing. All right, this is fascinating. Look at this. Okay, so we set up the fact that this film is all about, like, fighting. It's all about pain. It's about training. It's about a journey of pain, right? It shows the spikes, this weird plant that's almost like a predatory plant that has these spikes. And then they start blowing up as he's trying to escape them. So I'm assuming when they blow up, they're puncturing him. They're shooting out little spikes out. And then of hurt. Okay, so a world of hurt. Got some shots of other alien predators kind of thing. This is probably the clan that he's excommunicated from. IMAX. This film does seem visually like you should watch it in IMAX. Honestly, I'm not feeling like the story is very strong. This is going to be kind of like a very visually appealing film, but the story's probably pretty shallow. That's what I'm getting.
You're hunting something.
Like, go back to this. Look at this shot right here. Like, that's beautiful. Like on an IMAX screen, compositionally, something like this is very intriguing. You have the window, you know, the frame within a frame kind of thing, and then you have those layers deep, and the layers here is the foreground of the dude at the edge of this cave, and then the middle ground is this planet, and then the further background is like the sun. This is really good depth, but this is the kind of reason you'd watch this film, right? And so why would you go watch this film if you're not going to watch it in IMAX? That's my initial thought.
can't.
Okay, so some fighting stuff. The red, nothing we haven't seen before. The stylized swords to bring attention to them.
That can't be killed.
Okay, so Ellie Fanning's character says,
Hunting something
you're hunting something.
that can't be killed.
Okay, so it's just setting up more of that, you know, searching for the ultimate, you know, adversary. Cool. This is what everybody is putting in their artwork. All the articles have this shot because this is the visual novelty. The Predator aliens without their mask look so creepy and weird that they've always been visually interesting to just look at. It makes you uncomfortable, but also you can't look away. And I think this is what the concept of visual novelty really grabs onto. If you think about marketing a film, right? You want to put an image in their mind that is fresh, intriguing, and something they don't always see. It's this idea that you want to plant a seed so that people don't forget about it, especially if this film's not coming out till November. I'm sure the film is showing his face constantly, but in the trailer, you have to almost reveal it. And this what he does here, the look of nervousness and then the roar, it's really fascinating. Take a look. Yeah, that's awesome, right? And then there's a couple little, they got the logo and then just more fighting, right? It's just another one of his adversaries that he fights in the movie. I've worked in production. I've worked on films. I've worked on set. Now my day job is in marketing, right? And I market digital content a lot. And so when I'm thinking about what is good marketing, I'm always thinking about what is that seed that can be planted. And if you want a little insight, like if you're an indie filmmaker or someone who does a lot of marketing, especially around digital media, you want to get people to see something that grabs their attention and they can't really forget about it, right? And this shot of the close-up of his face, see, if it's just someone's face where, you know, they're looking nervous and then they go, like that doesn't really, it's not a visual novelty because it's just a person's face. But if you have the Predator's face, right, that's something that you can latch onto and remember. And so although I don't think this trailer is structured perfectly, I think there's some moments that's in it that's not very engaging. It doesn't really signal to me that this is going to be a very complex, engaging story that's going to keep me invested very well. The marketing, the visuals, everything was kind of executed really well to get people to remember it. And that's what's important for the marketing team of this film. And who's to say it's going to be good at all? All I know is that I'm going to be probably thinking about this film all year. And that's what matters to them, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments, what was your first reaction when you saw this trailer? What are your thoughts? I'd love to interact with you and talk with you about it down there. And on the topic of memorable moments in films, here's a video where I talk about the 5 most awesome, memorable cold opens that I have ever seen. Go check that out and tell me if you agree.